Thanks so much to all my patrons. Join now to help support the channel and help pick the books that I review. Link in the description. Hey everybody, so I'm going to be making a little bit of a different video today because I've been seeing a lot of people, not just in the fantasy booktube sphere, but a lot of booktubers in general have been making these videos about like the negative sides of booktube, or like the dark side of booktube, and all these really bad things about booktube, and they always like, butter it up by saying there's all these positives too, which there is. But I want to give my take on it because I think I have a different perspective than a lot of people, which I often find I do. Maybe I'm too much of a contrarian at times, but I just want to give you my 2 cents about things. And you might not have seen any of these videos, and I'm not talking about any 1 or 2 or 3 people in particular. There's a lot of people doing it. And I think in general, there's this mindset that there's all these really bad things involving booktube. But quite frankly, I personally view pretty, solitarily, all of these complaints about booktube feel to me to be self-made problems that people have. So I want to go through them because I think they're emblematic of like a bigger thing about people's priorities in life and their fixations on the wrong type of thing, and the wrong sort of expectations they put on their booktube channels. And I guess I'm kind of making this more towards the booktubers themselves, which I guess is like 0.00001% of my viewers, but maybe you'll find a little interest in it too. So, I find that a lot of these complaints can be centered around a few different things. One of them is money. And one of them is sort of like expectations. And in the one I want to spend the most amount of time, and the reason that I'm coming at you from my cell phone instead of my video camera, is the time investment into BookTube. And we'll talk about that one last. So the first one, let's talk about the money side of things. I hear a lot from people saying that BookTube can be a big money sink, not only from the equipment side of things, but more importantly, the book side of things, just like this need to keep buying more books and getting more books, and that the channels end up costing more than they bring in. Now, I think this is a bigger problem people have with the way that they spend money. Now, I recognize fully that I'm on the completely opposite end of the spectrum because I'm really big into saving money. I hate spending it. And I like to save money towards bigger and better things in life that are not so small and consumer driven. But I don't understand this perspective people have where they're like, you just have to buy more and more and more and keep up and get all these book hauls and do all these things, when the reality is most of these booktubers especially, but you, the regular viewer as well, can get most of the books that you want for free. Now, it might not be the most convenient thing in the world. You might have to wait a little while. You might not get the book, right away. But patience, my friends. I personally have not spent my own money on a book outside of, I think, the 4 Secret Projects from Sanderson. And is that it? Just the 4 Secret Projects, and about Rhythm of War. So all Sanderson stuff I can't get for free because I really wanted to read them. But outside of that, I don't think I've spent a dime on a book in about 3 years. And I do this a few different ways, and I would recommend a lot of people do the same. And one of them is I'm a huge user of libraries. I have like 10 different library cards throughout my state, all legal. In my state, you can get like as many library cards as you want from different libraries in the state. But a lot of states have the same. But regardless, I try to get my books loaned to me. And, if I find that a book is not able to get the library, then I call my library and ask them to go buy it. And most of the time they do, which is awesome for authors because then the library spent my library, I think they spend $90 for a copy for a certain number of uses, and then they have to re-up the copy. But if I also can't get it, then I will buy it on Kindle using free credits. Whenever I buy stuff on Amazon, I always delay it by a few days, and then you get like $1 or $2 or $3 in these like digital credits you can only use on things like Kindle books. So I accumulate these all the time, and so I always have a backlog of like, if I can't get a book, then I use it like that. Or the pleasure, I think that the privilege I think that a lot of booktubers have is you can just like email the author or email the publisher, and they'll almost always send you the book. And so this idea that you need to have this your bookshelf filled. And like, I get that I have a bookshelf that's filled behind me, although I do use perspective tricks to make it look bigger than it is. The truth is that a lot of the books behind me are books that they're like books that I had when I was a kid. They're not like modern fantasy books or fantasy books at all. A lot of them are my wife's like therapy books or like self-help books. And I blur my video so you can't really tell what's behind there. And the few books that I actually show the cover of are like the fantasy books that I have. And that I did kind of go through this thing where I wanted to buy a lot of fantasy books. But I got out of that years ago, and I should have gotten out of it sooner. I don't need those. Just buy digital or rent them or do whatever. And so yeah, there's free ways to get these books that blows my mind that people are spending so much. And then on the equipment side, I've spent probably about $800 on equipment in the life of my channel. And that seems like a lot, but I only ever spent money on the stuff after I started making money on the channel. I only used the income from the channel to buy it. And I've made, tens of thousands of dollars on the BookTube channel over time. And I recognize that that's not like probably the norm. But I definitely made a lot of money right at the beginning. You get some videos that the algorithm, you'll make it. And if not, just use your cell phone. Use your phone, get a cheap mic. I used a cheap mic forever. Use a cheaper camera. I mean, there's ways around this that don't require you to spend money. So that's the money side of things. The expectation side is one that, is this weird thing where people think that they have to deliver content on a schedule, or they have to read more and more books to keep up with everybody. When the truth is, why? Why? It doesn't matter. Who cares? Read books when you want to read them. Record videos when you want to record them. There's no schedule you have to hit. Nobody's going to stop watching your channel because you didn't have a video for a week or two or three or whatever. It truly doesn't matter. And so, or this idea that people get caught up in that I have to like compare my channel to other people to see, how quick I'm growing, and it'll hurt my feelings or my will to keep making when I'm not getting the success that I'm wanting. And like, this is a hobby, right? It's not a job. Who cares if you get more subs or not? Just make what you want to make. You're doing it for fun. I hope so. If you're not doing it for fun, then what are you doing? This isn't a career. And the people that try to make it a career are, that strange choice in careers, bro. Because like you could just have it like gone like that, and this should be a hobby, right? And so yeah, it's these weird expectations people put on themselves. Nobody else puts them on you. Just change what your expectations are and make them really small, or just have fun, right? I heard somebody recently talk about this idea that there's like two different kinds of booktubers, right? Like there's the kind that will grow their channels, and those are the ones that take it really serious and spend a ton of time on it. And then there's the ones that are just doing it for a hobby and doing it for fun, and their channel will never grow. And I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's true at all. I mean, I don't put very much effort into my videos at all. And my channel's pretty big. I have like 25,000 subs. There's tons bigger than me. I'm like a medium size in the grand scheme of things. But it's grown at a pretty consistent pace. And I don't put effort in, and there's no connection between the videos that I have put effort in, which I really don't do anymore, and those that I don't put effort in, with the amount of views that I get. It's just random. The algorithm does what it's going to do. You're not going to understand it. Just make videos, have fun. Who cares, right? And I think that leads me to my biggest point in the time investment, and the one that people can't seem to wrap their heads around on, that they spend hours and hours and hours making even like simple review videos. Or they get caught up in these huge, like, meeting up with other booktubers and making these hour-long videos, and like hours long, 3 hours long, group talks. And like, if that's fun for you, then do your thing. But if you feel like you have to do those things to like fit in with the community, that's not true. I never do that stuff ever. I've done like 2 or 3 little interviews that have all been like an hour at most. And I never do those group talks. I don't have time for it. I have a life. Outside of this, I've got a family I want to spend time with. So you don't have to do that. That's choice. These are all choices that you can make, right? And then I think the other one is like, they spend all this time recording videos and editing them and making thumbnails. So I want to show you now, which is the real reason that I have my cell phone out, how much effort you need to put in to put a quality video out. So I'm going to put my phone in the corner of my room, and I'm going to show you every single step along the way of me making a video. And the lack of effort that goes into it. And it looks pretty nice, right? And it can grow your channel, and you can have fun, and it doesn't really matter. And people in general should spend like less time doing this stuff, less time doing the boring stuff, and more time doing the fun stuff. And we'll make things a lot better. So I'm going to try to figure out here. This is behind the scenes of my room. So this is the view you see all the time, right? Wait, which one do you see? You see this view, right? I usually right. That's the view you see, right? But I got this. It's not a very big room. I'm in a computer room. Got a window. Got a desk. Got a Song by Fire map. Got a closet. That's it. Small little room. So we're gonna try to. I'm gonna show you all my setup and what I do. I've got these big pillows that are these big like play things for my kids that I put up to help block the sound a little bit because sound bounces off windows. So I'm gonna put those up real quick, and then I'm gonna try to see if I can get my camera perfect here so you can see what's up. All right. So that'll be a good perspective. Okay, now I gotta set up the room, right? I just gotta get this chair out of here. Gonna get this this light set up. Get my tripod set up. This light set up over here. All right. I'm going to take out this light bulb I put on my desk, and I'm going to move it to this little lamp I have on the ground for a little backlighting. And this one goes into an electrical cord over here. That's good. Then I'm going to get my camera. Make sure that I have my SD card and my battery. All right. Gonna get my microphone plugged in and turned on. And we are off at the races. My chair set up. Oops. Get my chair set up. Make sure my angle is about right. Seems good to me. Cool. All right, so I've got a book here. I'm reading Exile, and by 𝗂𝐿𝐴. And so I'm going to read the last 2 minutes of it. I got like 2 pages left. And then I'm going to do this in one take. Make sure my microphone's working. Okay. I'm going to get my video rolling. Make sure it is centered into my face. Looks good. Got my microphone up. All right, we're rocking and rolling. And I am done. Okay, so I just got done reading Exile by 𝗂𝐿𝐴. This is the second book in the Dark Elf trilogy, and I want to give you my unedited thoughts on finishing this book, which is literally just right now. So, yeah, I struggled with this one a little bit. Things I like the back half of this a lot more than the first half. But yeah, I'm going to end up giving this one like 3.5 stars. Somewhere between like, just thought it was okay and liked it. But ultimately, I am a little bit scared going into the rest of these Drizzt books, because this is all from the Drizzt universe, or Drizzt, or Drizzt, or Drizzt. I think it's Drizzt. I think there's a lot of different ways to say it. I've heard the authors say that you can say however you want, and he wanted people to kind of mess it up so they would get like debates and talk about it more. But I've also heard that he calls it Drizzt, so I'm going to say Drizzt. But yeah, I'm ultimately now a little bit scared going into the final into like all these rest of the Drizzt books, because I read the first one, Homeland, and I thought it was incredible. I gave it 5 stars. One of my favorite books that I've read, that were written before like 1995, or is it before 1990, or is this an 80s book? I don't know. And I thought, man, this is great. I have like 30 books or so, or however long this is, to get into this series. But the sad thing is, I'm finding, is that the things that I loved about the first book feel like we're leaving those things behind. The things I loved was the world, this underground world, because this whole series, at least the beginning first 2 books, are set in this like huge underground like cave system, like enormous cave system. And the society that has been built of these dark elves that have this spider queen and these different families that are all fighting for who can be the strongest family, and the rules they have about when they can fight and what they must do and how they take over other families, and this intricate female-led politics, and the males are like second class, and it is exquisite. I love everything about it. The politics is great. And that's, the first book was heavily involving that. But the second book, we find Drizzt leaving that society, and the point of this book is they're trying to kill him. He is an outcast. He's run away, and they want him to die. And every time that we went back to that society, because like a third of this book was taking place there, I loved it. I was all in. I was 5 out of 5. Perfect stuff. I just loved it. But then when we left and we followed Drizzt in his adventures, I was really bored. I was bored to tears. It felt like made for like teenage Matt, not late 30s Matt or almost 40 Matt. And now Drizzt, by the end of this book, and light spoilers, I don't think it's like major, because I think the plots of these are fun, but I don't think it really matters that you understand that Drizzt eventually like moves on, right? I think that's the whole point of these books. But he's now leaving underground. He's going above ground, and he's going to go off on these adventures, and we're going to get these little teeny adventure books. And because I didn't like the adventure side of things. I don't want that anymore. And so, yeah, major concern on my front going forward. But we'll see. Maybe I'll like fall in love with it. But chances are I'm not. So I'm not going to give a ton more chances here. I'm going to read the next one, see how it is. Maybe. These are all separated into, I think, trilogies. I think there's like a bunch of different trilogies, and maybe I'll find out like what's the best one. Do I need to read them in order? Maybe I need to read the best one, see how that is, see if it hooks me. But yeah, very concerned. So yeah, talk about the plot a little bit. Let's talk more about the setting here, because this book, it takes place in this cave system, and it involves Drizzt trying to find his way and trying to beat loneliness. And not be this mindless hunter that he defaults to when he's on his own, and actually try to find his way in a society, and not the Dark Elf Society, try to find a different society that he can get along with and be able to like communicate and not drift to that primal side of him. And those themes are interesting ones, but you get beat over the head with it continuously through this book. It's brought up a lot, and that was unfortunate. But still, he makes a friendship here with a, what do you call him? Like it's not like another kind of elf. It's like some sort of dwarf or goblin or something like that. And, they become friends. It's only for this book. And I feel like that's going to be a repetitive thing where he, finds characters that he spends some time with and then leaves them. Maybe that's not true, but I suspect it is. And, there were moments of this book, and it's split up into these little adventures that he has, all the while trying to be hunted by by the Dark Elves. They each have, it's like really, it can be broken up into these small little plots that are each like 50, 75 pages long. And it's just too frenetic of a pace. You're spending too fast going through all these moments. And while there's these interesting moments here, that more of the interest in like the beasts themselves that he's going up against and the intricate nature they are, I think in part because this is all based on Dungeons and Dragons, so there is like kind of lore that you can fall back on that's very well done, and does capture the imagination and these different societies that are all here that would be hard to make on your own, and so to be able to kind of pull from that is probably a very useful thing for 𝐼𝐴 𝐿𝐼. And so I did have fun in those moments in the plot in this world, but you know, as we drifted further and further from 𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐿 or whatever it's called, the main city of the Dark Elves, yeah, it just got less interesting. What I want so badly is a series not about Drizzt. I want it about his family members. I want about the Spider Queen. I want to find out what's going on there. I want a whole series about that, and I would just eat it up. And so yeah, that's unfortunate. You know, the lore here is great. I find all the magic and everything involving there is just top notch. But that's really like the only thing going for it at this point for me. You know, the prose is just pretty pedestrian. You know, it's basic teenage action sequences, which aren't bad in and of themselves, but you know, nothing to eat up here. You know, the characters feel, you know, a little bit two-dimensional. You know, I don't want to say one-dimensional because they have a couple facets to them, but you know, it's not, you know, you don't get a ton here, especially the side characters. They all feel like they are who they are, and you know, we're not going to get a lot of depth out of these characters. It's really all about Drizzt, and so yeah, that's where I'm at. You know, we'll see how things go. But yeah, I'm not super looking forward to going forward, and we'll figure it out. So don't have a lot more to say. We're going to drop it off there, a little bit shorter of a review. Thanks so much for watching this, and as always, happy reading to you. All right, that's how it's done. I am going to give a screenshot now for the thumbnail, and I'm going to say like, something like that. Screenshot, and we're done. So, let me clean up a little bit, and then I'm going to show you the editing process. So, the cleanup goes a lot quicker than the setup. Always got to remember to turn off the mic, otherwise it will drain the batteries. Camera away. It's been a little while since I charged the battery, so we're going to charge the battery. Take out the SD card and get ready to transfer it to my computer before we edit. And that's how it's done. So next we're going to do the editing process. I'm left with the SD card. I'm going to plug it in, pop it into my computer right here. And while we're waiting for it to transfer, I'm going to go read. I'm not going to show you me reading, but the next time you see me, I am going to have my computer open. We'll have the files on there. We'll do the edit. We'll do the thumbnail, we'll upload. It'll be a pretty quick process. So until I come back. All right, we are back. So I'm going to be using 𝐷aVinci Resolve right now. This is a preloaded template that I always put in to make things go a lot quicker for me. So I'm going to save my new project. We're going to call it, what was this book called? Exile. All right, we are going to load up my video that we just did from the computer. These two, 44 and 45, and slide them right into the timeline right here. And we need to find the beginning of that, which is right here. That looks like a good place to start. Doesn't need to be perfect. Take out the beginning, put a little transition in here. I like the circles. And I am done. Okay, so I just got done reading. Try to go right before I say exile, and then let's go to the Exile book by Salvatore. Good. Got to get the thumbnail. Oh wait, I think I already have it saved. Thumbnails, book covers 2024. Do I have it? I do not. I need to save it. 2024 books, Exile, all right. Load that up again. Book covers. Boom. Put that right here, move it over. Do a new transition of a push to give the effect that I'm going for. Try to make it go right when it's coming out. That'll make it look nice. Figure out when I stop talking about it.
The Dark Elf trilogy, and I want to give you my unedited thoughts upon finishing this book, which is literally just right now.
Pull it to the end, put an outro push in there. Right in. Pull it out 3 seconds. All right, now I need to put a fancy little graphic over the top of it. It's green. I love using this green one over here in DaVinci Effects. Where is it? This one. This is going to look nice on top of it. Make a new track. Pull it on top. Oops. I need a new audio track. And then get rid of the audio track. All right, this is going to look dope. Make it go perfectly overlaid. Add it. Give the same push effect. Get it to be the same exact length. Push it back. Good. Let's see, make sure that worked.
Fun. Okay, so I just got done reading Exile by
That did not work. 3, push left, out. 3, push left, out. All right, try again.
Okay, so I just got done reading Exile by
dope.
R.F. Salvatore. This is just right now. So, yeah, I've struggled with this one a little bit.
All right, so right there I put a fusion comp in. This fusion comp is going to not look good when I press play, but it will look good on the actual video. It's going to be like a little subscribe button. All right, I am done, basically. Now we're going to go to the end of the video. Figure out when I'd stop talking. I think it's right about here.
As always, happy reading to you.
I like to go till my fingers go down, stop it, cut it. I like to fade out, and I like to put another fusion comp here at the end, and I'm done. So now I like to put these effects on it, audio effects. One of them gets rid of the hum. These effects, they're normally like $150, but I got them on sale for $15. And the way it works is you play it a little bit here. Get rid of that. And it should catch. Yep. And it's going to figure out the right way to get rid of the hum.
this will get going faster in the next ones. So I do hum and then get rid of a little bit of the reverb because I have a lot of echo in my room. And so this gets rid of a lot of the echo. I still end up with a little teeny amount, but and I'm going to do that for each of the files. Then I go in reverse order so I remember back and forth, back and forth. Hum, echo, hum, echo. Boom, that one will go a lot faster. And then go to the next one, which is where? And then normally I'm done, but I made a new template recently. And on my template, I didn't save my messing with the audio. So I have to do it 2 extra times for the outro cards. I do like this thanks for signing up for patron thing at the end. So I got to apply it there when normally I wouldn't have to apply it. So this should have been done by now, but whatever. And then the very last one I'm going to do is this thing that happens after the very end of the video. I say like, thanks for watching. And if you want to watch more videos, click over here. That'll get applied when I upload the video to YouTube at the end. All right, that is done. Save it one more time and deliver it. Now, when you deliver it, I like to export it in 2160. So it's extra HD quality. Exile, throw it on the desktop, render it. And this is going to start the rendering process. So it's going to take probably 10 or 15 minutes for it to render. And in that time, I am going to go read. This time will go down dramatically. It'll probably be about 10 minutes. So I am going to stop this video here. I'm going to go read, and then I'm going to come back when it's done, and we're going to finish up uploading it and then making a quick thumbnail. All right, and it is now completed. So I am going to upload it to YouTube. And while I'm uploading it, I like to make a thumbnail. While I'm doing that, what I want to do is go down to the screenshots. No, not screenshots. I need to pull up a screenshot
Maybe that's not
from the end when I did that smile thing. Look a little too happy, but you know, whatever. That's a screenshot. We're going to open this up. All right. So we've got the book background here in the corner. I kind of like the look of the white on that. We're not going to do too much else. We're going to put a black line down to separate the book out. Put the shape, yep, looks good. We're going to, what? 3.5 stars. So start with 3. Now I'm going to pull up the screenshot of me that we took. Change the contrast, just the contrast. Then we're going to play with it a little bit, get the perfect need to get this more around me. Not there. But yes, here. This is just cutting it out. This would work a lot better if I did green screen, but I just don't want to waste time messing with the green screen. All right, look good. These little things I don't really care too much about. We'll fix those later. Yeah, this is going to look sloppy. But we will fix it all. Oops. Nice. Sometimes you have to do it a few times. We'll fix that part. Definitely want my ear. Did it get my hand well? I think that's part of the book. How did I not know that sleeve should be in there? All right. And that part done. Whatever. Bring this over here. Pull it down below the polygons. Now I'm going to smudge some of the outlines here to make them smoother. There's probably a better way to do this, but it's the way I know how. Doesn't need to be perfect. Yep. For some reason it put white on the edge there, so we're going to get rid of that. Oops. No, I want the lasso. We're going to highlight all the white and have the system put... No, that's not going to look good. All right, we're just going to smudge it out. That's fine. Smooth out these a little bit. All right. How's that look? A little lopsided on my head. Good enough. We're going to put a little outline here of black. A little black shading. Yeah, close enough. Put a title. What are we going to say is the title? Little tagline here. What are we going to say? We're going to say going downhill, which I think would summarize what I said in my review pretty well. We're going to give this a -10. Oops. And we're going to put that in white. The black outline. I kind of want to make the black outline a little bolder. There, cool. But I didn't give it 3 stars. I give it 3.5 stars. So, I have a little workaround I do. I'm sure there's a much better way to do it. But what I do is, so I got the 3 stars. Now I'm going to make it 4 stars. So I'm going to save 2 different copies of it. I know there's a better way to do this, but I never learned it. So now I'm going to go to Exile. I'm going to open up in Paint. Did I ever? Oops. I never saved Exile in JPEG. All right, open it up in Paint. Open the other one up in Paint. I'm going to zoom in. I find the middle point. Right there. Go here, zoom in. Match them up. Close enough. That's my thumbnail. So I put the thumbnail in here. It's already uploaded. Looks good. Exile. I'm going to say 𝐿𝐴 spoiler-free review by 𝑟𝐴_Salvatore. Is that how you spell it? It is. All right. Take out the artwork. I didn't use any artwork. I'm going to take out the purchase the book here because it's the second book in a series. I never do that on those. Put it in my book reviews playlist. No promotion. No AI content. Language, English. Turn monetization on. Submit. Put my end screen on, which is those like click here if you want to watch more videos thing. Unlisted. And that's the end. So that's how you do it, folks. That's all there is. All right. Well, that's how it goes. That's how quick it can be. And yeah, if you're making videos or thinking about it, dumb things down, simple it up, have fun, don't burn out. And these are all choices you can make. All right. Well, thank you so much and happy reading to you. Thanks again to all my patrons, with a special shout out to my Ascendant tier and Librarian tier patrons: Amy, Alex P, Anna G, CJ, Doused, Darren, Daniel O, JD, Jonathan, Josh, Nathan T, Ned's Book Channel, 𝐿𝐴_Orthodoxia, Ron Reich, Russell, Ryan L, Sydney Baker, Slay, Tahir, Anna, Andra, Blair, Brock, Evan, Joe UK, Kat Mick, Marcus, Michael Sugarman, and Sky. Thanks for sticking to the end of this video, and if you want to watch some more content from my channel, click over here and I've got some good videos for you. Thanks so much.